What do you got, Jack?
Is Knack, is this going to be a spot start for now, or are you guys thinking about?
Yeah, I think we'll see how it goes. We have an off day on Sunday, and so we'll see how it goes. But Landon has come in and filled in admirably, and we've got some other guys down today, so it'll be a good opportunity for Landon tonight.
And what's Walker going to be doing? Is he going to stick around with you guys, or what's the plan?
So we haven't figured that one out completely. I think with Walker, it's sort of trying to figure out who he is as a pitcher right now, where his body is at. And so it's sort of, he's a lot heavier and stronger than he was before his surgery. So to kind of figure out how his body's moving related to the pitch mechanics and delivery. So it's going to be a process. And we haven't kind of finalized sort of where this is going to take place. So it's going to be kind of, obviously we'll have our hands in things, but it might be an off-site thing or internal, I'm not sure yet, or combo.
Dave, you guys have now long dominated the freeway series against the Angels, and compared to last year, Shohei now is suiting up in blue, giving you guys more reinforcements. What's your overall thoughts on him going against his former team? Does that warrant any extra conversation between you and him?
Certainly doesn't warrant any extra conversation. I think that he's very grateful of his time in Anaheim. I think he's certainly happy here. I think it's one of those things that he's excited to get here, this day to get here, to get it over with, because I think he just wants to play baseball. So it's kind of, when you're Shohei Ohtani, these questions certainly happen, and he impacted a lot of fans, so for him to come north a little bit, it's a big deal, but I'm sure he just wants to play a baseball game.
Dave, you mentioned how once the change in the interpreters happened, it was kind of, it felt like it was easier to reach and talk to. What have you learned, I guess, about his personality?
He's more goofy than I thought. He likes to joke around, which is a good thing. He just wants to be one of the guys. He loves playing baseball. He's obsessed with being great. He prepares very intentionally. He is a very good teammate. There's a lot of back and forth about pitchers that he's faced and kind of what he gets from those pitchers communicated to the coaches, to his teammates, which is certainly helpful. And he wants to learn it, wants to get better.
Dave, how's Will doing? Is this just coming off games at Coors Field? And what's the balance that you have to walk with not having Mookie or Muncy and the days that you don't have Will in the lineup?
Yeah, I think that I'm trying to win every game, but also you have to appreciate these players are human beings, and they get taxed, and you don't want to redline guys. You want to keep them strong throughout the season. So coming at 4 games in Denver, use them in a pinch hit spot in game 3, and the day game, I just felt that, if we can get Austin out there tonight, he'll be back in there to catch glass now that we have an off day. Then going into Chicago, he'll catch all 3. And so he'll sort of get reset. But in a perfect world, he'd play 162, but that's just not going to happen. So I feel good with Austin, catching Landon tonight. And it's a balance, but it's conversations I have with players all the time.
Nothing specific?
No. Yeah.
With Ohtani, since he's been hitting leadoff, do you see any change in approach or anything?
No, not at all. I think even before Mookie went down, the couple days prior, he got back into a good place where he was swinging at his strikes, the right strikes for him, and not chasing as much. And then, just naturally he went into that leadoff spot and then continued to do what he's been doing. So, like I've told you guys, when he's staying at the big part of the field and getting the ball up in the hitting zone, there's no one even close as good as he is.
Going back to Buehler, you kind of mentioned the kind of the change in the body, and obviously he's always been kind of very athletic, right? His delivery. Have you noticed any kind of change, like maybe he can't stride out quite as much, or?
You know, I to the eye, I haven't, but I do know that the composition, the body composition, when you're adding more muscle, more weight, it just doesn't, the sequencing is a little bit different, and, you know, the execution, the command of his pitch is just not the same, so we're trying to suss that out and figure out, you know, where we go from there, but, you know, I don't think it's gonna be a long process.
The off days coming up maybe delay the decision, but with Buehler and Yamamoto both going to be out for lengthy time, do you need another starter?
I wouldn't say need. I think that you can always get better. I think that's fair for any team that's in the race and trying to acquire talent at the deadline. You know, I think for me, with whatever we have is enough, but the front office is always trying to get better. And, you know, whatever they decide to do, we'll adjust and expect to be better for it.
Thank you for that, but I missed that.
Oh, Knack? Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, I think we were trying to protect the guys that we do have. So, you know, having Tyler go on regular rest, which he could have done, when you have a guy that has been plugged in, Landon Knack, and has performed, the net sum is just better to just give Tyler the extra day, and no one will have an extra day on the back end of that one too.
So it sounds like Landon will be sticking around.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
With these off days though, does that make it more likely that you might, like you did with Paxton earlier, where he started on 4 days rest, but it was more abbreviated because you have more of a bullpen behind him to kind of pull that off?
There's a little bit of that math, but that's something that I don't see us doing again with James. I think we've done it once, maybe twice with Tyler and twice with Stone. It's not commonplace, but sometimes there's nothing you can do, and you know, if we're in that situation, then we kind of shorten guys. But yeah, I think ideally we're trying to let these guys recover a little bit more.
Kershaw come out of his thing okay?
He did. He 3 up and down, felt good. His next one will be for the AAA ball club, and I think it's Tuesday. So I should be 4 innings, so it's a good sign for all of us.
Where was he velocity-wise?
I think right in line with where he's supposed to be. I don't really know. I think right around 88 to 90 something where he's sort of always been.
Do you have a rough target for how many more he's going to need?
I don't. I know that 3 is certainly going to be the floor, and then probably after that we'll kind of figure out where he's at. So, yes, what?
Hong Chi-Kuo gonna throw the first pitch tonight. He's one of the best Taiwanese pitcher, and he's a former Dodger pitcher 13 years ago. Do you have any impression of him, Hong Chi-Kuo?
You know what, Kuo, I remember when he first came over, young pitcher, and then he ended up having a couple Tommy Johns. But when he was healthy, he was as good as there was, and I think he made an All-Star game too. So I haven't seen him in over a decade. So I'm looking forward to saying hello to him.